Hello, dear friends. Welcome to another Spiritist magazine program. And today we're going to be talking about issue 56 of the Spiritist magazine. What we have here is a wonderful way for you and I to access the teachings of the superior spirits, to meditate, to be studying, to be together. So many different ways that we can access this beautiful doctrine of Spiritism. Not only that, we can go to spiritistmagazine.org. When we go to spiritistmagazine.org, and let me put it here for you, we have the ability to download the app for your devices, your tablets and phones. You have the ability to download the PDF version of the Spiritist magazine, but also to order the physical copy of the Spiritist magazine. Not only you would be able to read articles for the young. Here we have, for example, on this issue, we have a beautiful story for children about the lives of Loopy, which is the little dog here on the story, but also things for the not so young, just like you and I. For example, Spiritual Causes of Diseases by Emmanuel. Many different ways for you and I to nourish our souls with the Spiritist magazine. The Superior Spirits grant us this opportunity, and we are gladly taking it so that we can spend this time together talking about issue 56, Mediumship and Inspiration. We all have heard, if you're a Spiritist, you may have heard us talking about everybody's a medium. Everyone's a medium and the different levels of mediumship. If you're a Spiritist, hopefully you have read or know of the 5 different books of Kardec, the books of codification, and there are other ones. There's also the Spiritist magazine, which is where this article from today comes from. So when we're talking about the Spiritist magazine, we're talking about a source published by Allan Kardec, in which he shared with us the wisdom of the superior spirit. So it's many different ways where we can use these teachings in our daily life. So we've heard perhaps that you are a medium. Is that true? Even though you don't see or hear spirits, how can I be a medium if I'm not? And this is what this spirit is. Halevy is the spirit we're going to be talking about today. And there's no mention of the medium, but this article was published in March 1869, which is the month of discarnation of Allan Kardec, the second to last Spiritist magazine he published, because he left his last issue of April ready before he discarnated. So the spirit Halevy tells us, under its infinitely varied forms, mediumship encompasses the entire humanity as a network to which no one can escape. So the entire humanity, that includes you. It's like, no, but I'm not a medium. Yes, you are. And we're going to see how that works. Because ultimately, our spirit's mind emanate thoughts. These thoughts travel through as particles, as waves. They travel through the universal cosmic fluid in its many variations and reach other thoughts that are of like-minded nature. So every time you think, you are projecting out a vibrational tune, and then you in turn connecting with other spirits. And we are our humanity, we are a network. What happens to our brothers and sisters in other countries affects us wherever we are in the globe. Even though some of us may not think that's true, that is correct. It says here, mediumship encompasses the entire humanity on earth and beyond. That means you can connect with superior spirits that live in the sun and other galaxies, because it's what you think that matters. And of course, what we do as well and how we feel. He says here, a network to which no one can escape. We're not above the law. We are connecting. He says, each one of you, whether you know or not, whether you want it or not, is in daily contact with free intelligence. There is not an individual who can say, I wasn't, I'm not, I won't be a medium. Through intuition, the so-called voice of conscience, in quote, each person is in relationship with various spiritual influences who counsel in one direction or another, and many times simultaneously the pure, absolute good, personal interest, and evil in all its nakedness. Human beings evoke these voices. They respond to their appeal, and the individuals choose. But they choose between diverse inspirations and their own feelings. The inspirers are invisible friends, like terrestrial friends. They may be serious or occasional, self-interest, or truly guided by affection. So here's the mechanism. Whether you want it or not, says the Spirit Halevy, whether you know it or not, you are in touch with this intelligence. So what are you evoking? He says human beings evoke the voice. So we ask for the advice. When we think of something, we are evoking those who think like us. So let's say I'm sitting around on my weekend and I'm thinking about trivial things. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to enjoy myself, next barbecue I'm going to, next cookout, how I'm going to go spend my money on the mall. Like-minded spirits are going to say, yeah, go enjoy yourself. Life is short. But if I think about, okay, I could do this, but I don't need it. What else could I do with my time that is more valuable to myself and humanity? Then you are asking a different kind of question. And then the spirits that are answering may guide you towards a service. Go volunteer with the elderly, go to an orphanage, donate the money that you would spend on the mall on things you don't need to a charitable organization taking care of those who suffer in wars, in climate change events like hurricanes, mudslides, storms, hurricanes, so on and so forth. So he says, we evoke the voices and they respond. And we choose between what they inspired us to do and how we're feeling what we want. And he says those inspires are the invisible friends, and they have their own interest, aside from those who are of superior nature that have our interest and they know us and they understand our reincarnatory plan, and they say, okay, yes, you could go to the mall and spend money on jewelry you don't want or need, that you want but don't need. Or we could use that same amount of money to feed someone, because we have a lot of food insecurity in this country. Or you can pay someone's bill so they don't lose their heat on the winter. There's so many examples. And yes, we have to be mindful that I'm bringing this to our daily lives, because it's time that we take these teachings from the theoretical into the practical. Charity means giving of yourself, sometimes a wise word, sometimes a caring word, sometimes a phone call, sometimes sharing a prayer on the social media platforms is a form of charity. But sometimes all we need is to remove our own needs to the needs of others. Spirits are consulted or spontaneously advised, but like the advice of the terrestrial friends, their advice is heeded or rejected. Sometimes they trigger a result opposite to what is expected. Often they do not produce any effect. What to conclude then? We're not saying that individuals are under the action of an incessant mediumship, but that they freely obey their own will, modified by warnings that in the normal state can never be imperative. So we are doing this all the time. We are constantly thinking about things, measuring how our actions are going to go, taking different perspectives. What if I did this? What if I did that? And then that's when, if you're engaging in activities of the good spirits can use you and inspire you to do even more. But if we are trying to just selfishly care for our instinctual needs, I'm not talking about keeping hygiene, good sleep, caring for family. I'm going beyond of all we want to do on the weekend is enjoy ourselves. When that's the time we could enjoy ourselves while serving others as well. He says, when an individual does more than taking care of the smallest details of their existence, and when it comes to work, they come to carry out more especially of the decisive tasks that they must endure, or of works destined for the general instruction and elevation, the voices of conscience are no longer made by our counsels, but it attracts the spirit to certain subjects, including certain studies and collaborating, making certain brain compartments resonate by inspiration. Here it is a work by 2, 3, 10, 100 if you like, but if 100 took part on it, only one can and must sign it because only one did it and he or she is responsible for it. And he's talking about our daily activities. When we go to work and you go above and beyond taking care of the smallest details of my job as an obligation, but I say, okay, I'm here in this location, remotely or in present. God allowed me to be here. I have these abilities. How can I use it to serve everyone? Not just my own selfish interest of promotion and making more money, but then when I'm solving a problem, when I'm working on a project, the spirits can come. If they're attracted to math, they help you with your formulas. If they're attracted to science, they inspire people to develop the vaccines. If they're attracted to medicine, they go to the hospitals and help the nurses and physicians to deliver the best care for their patient and inspire them to new ways of thinking about a disease. If you are a parent, you're staying at home, the spirits who take liking to the education of children can be there with you. It's just about attunement. They'll be there even if we don't want to. So we might as well choose the companion and who are we evoking. He says, after all, what is work? Go to the law of work and the Spirit's book, and you're also going to have that answer. He says it's never creation. It's always a discovery. We don't make anything, but we discover everything. To invent, in its true meaning, is to make evident an existing law, a knowledge unknown, but germinated in the cradle of the universe. Those who invent, they lift on one end the veil that hides the truth but does not create the truth. To invent, it's necessary to search and search a lot, to check books, to search again in the depths of intelligence, making one for mechanics, another for geometry, a third for knowledge of music, and for another the laws of history, so on and so forth. So now he's going to give us examples of our daily lives. Is the one who explored the corners of libraries, who heard the masters speak, who scrutinized science, philosophy, art, religion, from the remotest antiquity to the present day, the medium of art, history, philosophy, religion. Are they the mediums from times past when they write about it? No, because they do not count on others' behalf, but they taught others to count and enrich their reports of everything that is personal to them. So when we go in depth and we study, and we go to the books and we take a course and we create and we think, we're not necessarily mediums, but when we are using that teaching to do something, those spirits can come and help us as well. She says, for a long time, the musician heard the warbler and the nightingale before inventing music. Rossini listened to nature before translating it to the civilized world. Is he the medium of the nightingale and the warbler? No. He composes and writes. He listened to the spirit who came to him to sing the melodies of heaven. He heard the spirit who called the passion in his ear. He heard the Virgin and the Mother letting her prayer fall from her mind in harmonious pearls over the sun. Love and poetry, freedom hatred, revenge, and numerous spirits who have these different feelings. Each in their turn sang their note beside him. He listened to them, studied them in the world and in inspiration, and from both he made his words. But he was not a medium, just like a doctor who listens to his patients is not a medium telling what they suffer from and what gives a name to their illnesses. Mediumship had its time in one as in the other, but outside of these moments too short for its glory, which he did it just due to the cost of studies collected from human beings and spirits. So when we are creating, when we're studying, we're gathering information, we listen to someone, we're not necessarily being a medium. When we ask a question, okay, my friend has this problem, how can I be of service, God? And the spirits may come and inspire us, and a lot of the times they do. Therefore, the individual is the medium of everyone, the medium of nature, medium of truth, and very imperfect medium, because mediumship often appears in such a way disfigured by the translation, which is unrecognizable and unknown. So when we are looking outwards, let's take a break. So let's say you're working on your math problems. Other spirits of like-minded thoughts are around you, and you're asking God for inspiration, and you sleep and you go to the spiritual realm and you go solve their problems with others and you bring it in. And perhaps you are creating music and you're like practicing the piano, and then you're composing and you gather the information from your knowledge and you're creating something. And then perhaps under inspiration, you're inspired to create a music that is for the masses to bring their instincts so they can enjoy their senses, or you have the option to use the same talents and inspiration to create musics that soothe and inspire people to healing their own wounds of the past. The power of inspiration. Here, this spirit, Halevy, brought to Kardec this knowledge that we are always in touch with the two worlds, the worlds of the living and the worlds of the discarnated. Every night we go and mingle with them, wherever our minds are, wherever our focus is. So today, wherever you are in the world, you can take advantage of this inspiration. Mediumship and inspiration, even if you're not an extensive medium. When you are working, when you're doing things, when you're creating, you can pray, stop, bring your attention to the present moment and say, God, how can I make this work be of service to everyone? Especially if your work touches many lives, which a lot of the work says. When you're cleaning, your work touches everyone. The beauty and harmony of that house, making it free of illnesses, and viruses and bacteria that could cause illnesses. You are an engineering, you need to ask for that prayer of inspiration. So when you build that bridge and that building, guess what? It stays up. Because if it came down, lots of lives could be lost. When we are a scientist, like myself, and I'm in the hospital enrolling patients in my studies, I pray that they can be also, I can be of service, listening to helping them in their journey to a better health outcome. If I'm a mother, probably the most important job is in all of the works. I'm at home keeping an eye on the education of the young. I can ask to be inspired by the superior spirits on how to go about it. Instead of, when I am driving the bus, look how much responsibility. 50 people I'm carrying on the bus or the train or whatever the works, if I didn't mention your particular work. And then we go back to the teachings of Emmanuel in the book Foreign Life. He has, in collaboration, of course, with the teachings of the spirits on the spirits book, the love work that is there, the love work. There's also profession and vocation in the book Foreign Life by Emmanuel. So we merge these teachings and we apply them to our daily lives. So today you can feel the inspiration of the good spirits. Wherever you are, you bring calmness, mindfulness, tranquility. You can soothe the anxiety of your co-workers over the different events of the planet happening. And then we can move one step above as we visualize the entire earth embedded in a universal cosmic fluid, overflowing with love from God for all of the beings on the planet. We pray that we can bring together kindness and understanding to improve the lives of all, soothe the passions of war, soothe those who suffer, those who are hungry, those who are homeless, the animals who suffer in the hands of humans, the vegetable kingdom that provides us with the air we breathe. So many different blessings we can bring to our lives, and we can feel inspired to do the good, visualize the good, mold the good with our minds and with our hands and actions, concrete actions in our daily lives. Dear friends, visit thespiritistmagazine.org. Write to us at spiritistmagazine@gmail.com. Visit the website, download the PDF, go read about mediumship and inspiration in the issue 56 of the Spiritist magazine. In between now and the next time we meet, share what you've learned with others. Make sure others can have the access to these teachings of Kardec Radio, because there's so much already ignorance in the world that gets spread. Let's spread lightness. Let's spread the teachings of the masters everywhere we go. Stay tuned for our dear friend Carol Correa, who brings to you the teachings of the Spirit's book, The Divine Laws. She goes question by question with her wisdom, kindness, and love. She's a wonderful collaborator. Write to us, leave your comments and questions. And until next time, many blessings. I will see you soon. Bye bye.